check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2. Hey. Cool.
All right, welcome to the Tonepot. Today we got Chris Duggan. He is the guitar player for The Hate, the singer for Lords of Death, and the drummer for End of Everything, and the head honcho at No One Cares Pedas.
Thank you, sir.
First off, how do you take your coffee?
Well, as you know, we just came back from Costa Rica.
Plug it, Costa Rica right there.
Shout out Costa Rica.
Hashtag Costa Rica.
So they are very much coffee snobs. They hate Starbucks. Shout out Starbucks. But I normally do a little sugar, a little cream. Mm-hmm. But after this Costa Rican coffee, trying to drink it black. I can drink it black, but you need a little sweetness.
I hear you. Yeah, I got some Starbucks stuff downstairs. So that'd be cream and sugar in it right now for sure. Just real quick, like in your own kind of description, just tell me about the bands that you play in, styles of them, and a little bit about your pedals and what you're doing with those.
Okay. So yeah, I'm in 3 bands. The End of Everything I play drums for. We've been a band, 5 years maybe. Doesn't feel that long. Your typical beatdown style hardcore, we got breakdowns and fucking, the yelly stuff. Love those boys. The Hate, we've been a band. Well, I started that band by myself, really. Recorded the first single, quote unquote, was all me. I did drums, bass.
And you do sing. I did not mention that, though you do play guitar. Right. You sing in that band as well.
So that started, I think, in 2018, maybe 2019. But I didn't really make the band until, there was a few different iterations. I've tried a few people, but the final form of the band, probably 2 years ago.
Oh, rad.
Played our first couple of shows.
Pre or post pandemic? Or mid?
You know what? I can't even remember. Those 2 years, I think it was pre. So it was
cool.
Yeah. So maybe 3 years ago then.
For sure. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so let's see. Yeah. So I'm blanking right now.
It's going to get edited out. Jesse kills it, dude.
Okay. What were we talking about? The band? Yeah. Anyways, the final form of that band was probably 3 years ago. I play guitar. It's more of the not so breakdowny, very, very, I don't even think we have a breakdown in the entire set.
For sure.
So, which, it is what it is. The kids love them. The fucking hardcore dancing. Yep. I don't get it, but it's always cool, when the kids are going crazy for your songs. I would say it's more in the vein of like Every Time I Die or Baptist. I don't know if you've heard of the Baptist.
I have not, but I'll have to check it out for sure.
They're from Canada. They're really, really good. One of my favorites, Birds in Row.
Yeah, absolutely. What is Sweden? Where are they from in Europe?
France, I believe.
France. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's all good.
Birds in Row. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, a little melodic stuff. Faster, hopefully. We're trying to get faster. I know Jeremy's he's a punk kid, so
he's a speed demon.
Yeah,
dude.
Man.
Yeah.
I really want to use that guy. So we've been doing that for a while. And then Lords of Death. We call ourselves Vacation Metal.
I like that name. Elaborate.
Yeah, so we all used to wear Hawaiian t-shirts for practice.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. So they actually formed the band without a singer for a few years. And then they came to record a demo at my house. And I think the drummer at that time, Jordan, was like, maybe we can ask Chris to fucking sing. Sort of let's go. Yeah, let's go record with him and we'll ask him if he wants to join the band. Luckily, they let me join, and because I was like, "Holy shit, these guys are amazing!" And at the when first day, all in fucking Hawaiian t-shirts, I'm like, "What is happening?" You know what I mean? So Vacation Metal is I scream a lot. I sing a little bit, kind of like the hate. But the riffs and the music is it's not very hardcore. It gets hard and it gets really melodic. But it's like, vacation metal is the only way I could really describe it.
There you go. Vacation metal. Use it, love it, check out Lords of Death, and embrace it.
Yeah. Come on.
Now the pedals. Tell me a little bit about No One Cares Pedals.
So anybody who knows me personally, No One Cares was sort of like a hashtag I used on everything social media, because I thought
relatable.
Yeah, I thought social media at the time, I have, then since embraced it, but I thought it was ridiculous. Like, why would anybody give a shit about anything that I'm doing, me? Mm-hmm. So, I'd post some stupid picture or saying, and then hashtag no one cares. Cause I'm like, yeah, no one gives a fuck. Right. And so, after that, people would come up to me and, hey, no one cares. Like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks, dude. Yeah.
And that led to Chris Hates People. And that
I've always hated people, to be honest. Right before the pandemic, I had purchased a pedal kit from guitargadgets.com.
Mm-hmm.
They include the components, they include the board. They even include like a pre-drilled enclosure. Yeah. Solder, like everything you need to build a whole pedal.
What did you get for the first kit?
Oh, I can't even remember. I think it was maybe a fuzz face or maybe a tube screamer, something that didn't look too intimidating, because sure. I had a soldering iron, but it wasn't the best soldering iron at the time. But anyways, so I started that sort of as a hobby, and it's still kind of a hobby, sort of grown into an obsession. Yeah. Like any musical endeavor. And so the pandemic hit, right? And so I'm stuck at home furloughed, nobody's going anywhere. And so I'm like, oh, fuck, man, I got to do something. I can't just sit here and do nothing. So I got really deep into building pedals, like ordering circuits, sourcing components. I started drilling my own enclosures and stuff like that. I one of the best purchases during the pandemic, and I use it for everything still, is a laser jet printer. Yeah. I didn't have a printer. We didn't have a printer at the house. And so, I use it literally every day. But with that, I started I was able to print water slide decals. Yeah. To put, graphics on the enclosure, which sort of bumped me up, like in the levels of the pedal thing. And so from there, I was building up a presence on Instagram. Instagram's like sort of where I sell pedals, really. People will find me and, message me, hey, what can you do? Or can you do this? Whatever. No One Cares Pedals. Yep. Follow.
Get that on Instagram for sure.
Like and subscribe. No.
And it's a lot of custom pedals and by design or by order, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. Made to order. Mm-hmm. Right. So I do make some and throw them up on Reverb, and people buy them there. And that's actually, that's actually been very profitable. Anyways, so I sort of built up a following on Instagram, and luckily, I was making made to order, I don't know, 3 to 4 a week.
Oh, cool.
Which is actually
that's
pretty good. Yeah. Keeping me busy for sure. And then so right after this New Year's, so like last week, I laid out my first fuzz circuit, which was borrowed heavily from the Color Sound fuzz box.
For sure.
Added a tone stack to it, so it's a little modified. I guess I can call it mine. Yeah. I don't know.
It only takes 10%, I think, for copyright laws or something like that. Yeah.
Right. So that was a big milestone, and the next step, I guess, is to get them, the actual PCBs manufactured and getting the enclosures done professionally and stuff like that.
For sure.
So hopefully this year, I'll get something out there. We'll see.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, keep an eye out for all that shit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Well, in the guitar realm of things, who or what did you hear like growing up that made you want to pick up a guitar?
Nirvana. I mean, for real, like, I think Nevermind came out when I was junior high, like that, maybe earlier. I can't remember. I was at that perfect age where I was like, oh shit, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, you've piqued my interest. This sounds amazing. Yeah, Nirvana's by far my favorite band. And unfortunately, they've only done, 2 records, no 3, plus sort of a best of type of a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, definitely Nirvana. Smells Like Teen Spirit, as cliche as it is, like when I first heard it, I was like, holy shit. And then quickly after that, I was like, oh, this song's, I don't like it anymore. I've heard it too many times.
Yeah, for sure. It's like a When I Come Around or something.
Yeah, right.
Or Basket Case or whatever.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Pause. We'll take this opportunity to make sure everything's going.
Cool. Right on.
Shit, baby. Just gonna hop back into it like I did.
Yeah.
So I first saw you play guitar and Give 'Em Hell probably like 2007 or something, if I had to guess. And then later in Unfair Fight. And at that time, I think you were playing an Ibanez, maybe an RG or something, if I recall the body shape right or something.
It's good.
And since then, I've seen you a lot with the Eclipse, like that black one right there.
The matte black.
Yeah, absolutely.
The moment I saw that guitar, and not this one specifically, but like someone play this model.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's fucking beautiful. It's such a sexy guitar. I scooped this one up with a case on Reverb for like $400.
Dude.
Yeah, I was like,
not today, not in 2023, baby.
No.
Not happening.
And it's got the Seymour Duncan pickups, gold
Yeah,
pickups.
the JB and the Jazz. JB and Jazz or JB and 59? I should know this. I worked there for a long time, but I don't. Out of all the guitars that you've gotten to play or record with, the Ibanez, the LTD and stuff, like what is your favorite guitar, would you say?
Oh, that's like picking my favorite child, dude.
Yeah. All right, then give me like the top 2,
So, yeah. So, I mean, I have at home, I have like 5 or 6 guitars. So this one's probably my favorite. It's the one that I play with. I have a Gibson Les Paul Black Beauty at home. I almost brought it and I've practiced with it a few times. Never played it live. I don't want to fuck it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. It also sounds amazing. I got a Gibson SG. It's not a special or anything, but I got it from a pawn shop. I get a lot of stuff from pawn shops.
Yeah, dude. You got the deals are there, man.
Yeah,
if you're looking,
for real. That I play that one a lot. I swapped the pickups out. I think I did a Jazz or a JB and a 59.
For sure.
It's a classic combo, dude.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Those high gain pickups are fucking.
Yeah, when you buy the pack, I think the JB and the 59, I don't know, there's something in me wanted to say one of those
Jazz?
LTD models came with a Jazz. I don't know.
Probably.
Comment.
So that was also another thing. So like the soldering thing, I got a Weber online for, it's probably like $40 or something. Started swapping out pickups because my friend Tyler Newton, shout out.
What's up, Tyler?
Yeah, he helps me. So the first guitar that I bought a kit, it was like a white Telecaster sort of copy on, it was probably eBay or something. I was like, Tyler, I need someone to solder in some pickups for me. He's like, oh yeah, cool. Come on over. And it took a few weeks, I think, but he like showed me every step. He showed, had the diagram and all this and that. And so like I've told Tyler himself, I was like, dude, you like, if you didn't help me with that, I probably wouldn't be doing pedals
For sure.
either. You know what I mean?
You didn't teach me to tin a soldering chip, then I wouldn't even be here.
Exactly. So yeah, that's sort of, that was my intro to soldering, whatever. It was probably terribly done, but, except for, the one Tyler did, but yeah, luckily these because I think the Eclipse comes with EMGs, right? Usually
They have a couple different options for sure out there, but that would be stock.
Really?
They make a JB variety with the gold covers and everything.
gold covers
that comes
are so
stock for sure. Equally as popular, they make an EMG version, but it doesn't look as good.
Yeah. I think I saw Jared Stinson.
Sick Waiting. Yeah,
Yep,
for sure.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think he had the gold plated Seymour Duncans, and I was like, fuck, such a sexy guitar.
Yeah, man, it's a good one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I fucked up, guys. Hold on. Oh shit. Okay, so like, what would some of the favorite? I've seen you play quite a few amps, I think, as well, and I feel like I might have been a Peavy or something when I first saw you. Maybe a 50. Did you ever do a 5150? Nonetheless, definitely Rectifier and Marshall. I've seen you with in recent times.
Yep. So yeah, my amp journey has been a wild one. When you're a young kid fucking playing in a punk band, you don't give a shit about what your guitar tone sounds like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the first, I don't even know if I would call it a legitimate amp. It was a valve state Marshall. It had like it was the hybrid or whatever. It had like actually like preamp tubes.
I feel like Chuck Schuldiner from Death used that amp.
For real?
Yeah, dude. I think those valve states
there you
were
go.
like
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah. I mean, you could use anything and make it sound decent, I'm sure. But like, I just cranked everything and it sounded awful. That was in the that was in the Give 'em Hell days. The first legitimate tube amp that I got was a Marshall JCM. It was a DSL 2000 or whatever.
For sure. Yeah.
Very popular tube amp.
Those were pretty much the JCM 2000s from like the early, they switched the name to the DSL dual super lead, whatever.
Right,
but
right.
yeah, same pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
I got that on eBay and it ended up like taking a dump on me.
Yeah, the boards are fragile here.
Yeah, that's what it was. Is I took it to get it, serviced because it was not working. Like it was blowing circuits or tubes or something. And it was like, Roy, he was like, yeah, we need to replace this whole board. It's fucked. I'm like, oh, God damn. So it's like another $500 or something like that. I did it and it works great now. But that was Unfair Fight, I think, was the first tube amp I got.
For sure.
I can't remember what guitar I had with that. I might have used the Ibanez, the flame top Ibanez, and then I went to the white telly that I built. This is ancient history. I should have brushed up on my gear. After that, I think I went to Peavy Valve King. Or maybe I had them at the same time. I let the other guitar player in the band in Unfair Fight use the Valve King because he didn't have a tube amp. And they sound great. The Valve Kings are awesome.
Yeah, for sure. That was my first tube amp. Shout out to the Peavy Valve King.
Yeah. I see a Jet from Close Combat and every other hardcore
Definitely,
band.
yeah.
He uses those. So I had the Valve King. I think I gave it to our guitar player, Derek. Definitely gave it to him. I regret that though, because
give it back, Derek. Show some love. Yeah.
After that, I think I got my 6505, which is what I play now.
Okay, for sure. Yeah.
Did
you have a Mesa amp at any point in the journey?
You're right. This guy knows more than I do. Yeah, I had the single rec.
Yeah. Okay, for sure.
Had the single rec before the Marshall. That was my first tube amp.
That was okay for sure.
Yeah, I think I played that in Give 'em. No, fuck. Unfair Fight had to be Unfair Fight. I got that.
I think so because that would have been in my early hard pipe hitters times.
Yeah,
and I remember.
Yeah. I got that from a friend of a friend, Pete's buddy. Fuck, I can't remember his name. He was in Revenge and Regret back in the day with Dan, Pete, and this guy played guitar. I don't remember who played bass. He sold it to me for a steal. I was young, had no money, you know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, I want to sell it, but I'd rather sell it to someone who would actually use it.
For sure. Keep it in the family, so to speak.
So yeah, I loved that amp as well. That one was a little harder to sort of dial in a good tone because it's got like the master, it's got like a gain, and it's got like,
I kind of felt that way about Peavy's.
Really?
Yeah, because there's like the pre and the post.
It's very hard. Well, at least for me, for that Mesa, I tried to record with it.
No, I hear you.
Got a decent tone that was not, fucking blowing the walls down. And I could never get it at a loud enough volume after recording with a decent tone. So I was like, fuck. So I sold that.
Would you say too much low end or?
I don't remember.
Yeah, for sure.
It just wasn't, it wasn't that
Long
sweet
ago.
spot. Yeah. I'm sure there are YouTube videos.
So the 6505 is your predominant main sound right now, at least for
currently.
live stuff?
Yeah. I think I also have a Bugera 6062 or something, which is like, I think those are, I want to say a Peavy company.
I can't even recall, but
I think
they're a subsidiary of someone.
Yeah, I think they're a Peavy company. That one sounded decent, not as good as the one I got now, the 6505, but also a decent amp.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Do you take a different approach to how you record guitar versus how you attack like a live tone and set?
Yeah, what I don't now because I've realized. If you try, you have an attenuator, right? Which brings down the volume, but keeps the tone where it should be.
Yeah, you can crank the amp more. But
exactly. Yeah. Right. So when I would record myself, obviously, I can't crank the amp because the neighbors will get pissed off or whatever, you know what I mean? So I would bring it down, and I think that would, the tone would suffer a little bit. But now I just I leave it where it is and record and say if people call the cops or whatever. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Recording.
Call them. Don't do that. Don't swap me.
I think recording with Paul Miner sort of opened my eyes into a lot of things that you can do that probably makes things sound better.
Studio is
it's amazing.
Tone head's dream.
Yeah,
man.
it's amazing.
It's a buffet of amps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He let. It's funny. We brought all of our own gear, right?
Same thing.
Yeah. And he's like, "Well, I got this stuff. It sounds pretty good." We're like, "You do whatever you want."
I even tracked with we just rented the studio and had our buddy Raul doing the engineer work, but I even used his guitar to track with. Like his shit was so good, man. He had this classic custom Les Paul that sounded so on point, man. Yeah.
But he had like a closet, the vocal booth. He also tracked guitars in
for sure,
and he cranked it. So I was like, well, fuck. The tone. I'm assuming the tone. Well, it does. The tone suffers if you take the master down or
there's
anything like that.
Power tube, whatever effects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Words. Yeah, yeah.
So now I'm like, also when I recorded Lords of Death, those fucking guys talk about a sweet ass tone. Like they literally
dimed everything.
They dime it.
Yeah.
But like the guitars and it's in the fingers, baby. Like they just know how to do those pinchy daddies and the fucking,
Dude, yeah. Some people got it. Yeah.
When I did that, I was like, of course I didn't want to tell them, you got to turn it down, dude.
Yeah.
And so we tracked and it sounded decent. So I'm like, well, fuck, I'm just going to let it go.
For sure. Yeah.
Just let the,
if
let
the cops don't come, then we're in business. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
So right now, what would your live rig consist of? Like you're using the 6505 and this guitar right here, this LTD EC. So basically, what's your pedal board going in between everything?
Should I pull it up?
Yeah, let's see that over there. Let's bring that into frame. Let's talk about that. Yeah, that's a good one.
This is an awesome board in itself.
Oh wow.
It's got
dang
built-in battery.
fantastic.
So you don't need a power supply really. It's chargeable.
It is
obviously.
its own power supply. That's
rechargeable.
fantastic. Yeah.
So obviously first in the signal chain is the tuner.
Just pop that up real quick, man.
Yeah.
That yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay.
I got this cool little light from a builder in Canada. His name's Shone Woods.
Oh, cool, man.
Met him on, the pedal community on Instagram is insanely welcoming.
Yes.
And so I met him there, bought this cool, it doesn't do anything. It's just a light. It doesn't,
it
there's nothing.
illuminates the floor.
Exactly.
In a dark
It makes your shit
situation,
look
dude.
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, tuner is probably my most important
For sure,
pedal.
the boss, man. Yeah. That's the classic.
From there, I go into a switcher, ABY switcher,
Mm-hmm.
just in case I got to run 2 amps, which we did our first show because unfortunately our guitar player wasn't able to.
I saw at
Triple B's.
Triple B's. I definitely saw you using 2 amps at that one.
So I used that for that one. But if it's just 1 amp, so it's going from there to, I don't even know, delay to, and this is
cool. Is that a DD5?
DD5.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
I got that on reverb. This is the only pedal that I've built.
Is that the tap for the DD?
It's a tap.
Yeah, for sure.
So literally no circuits. I
Yeah.
did mod this one though. The
DOD overdrive
preamp
Cool.
250. Yeah.
What'd you do to that?
Well, it uses like the eighth inch jack for power.
Yeah,
You've seen
for
those, so
sure.
you have to
So
sort of adapt it.
You did the barrel jack.
I swapped it out for the barrel, and then did a true bypass and the status LED, which they don't have.
Dude, always helpful. I don't know
I'm
why.
like, well, okay.
Yeah.
So I did that.
What's before the DOD there?
So it goes a delay into the verb,
Yeah, for sure.
dispatch master, great, which is also a delay pedal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use it for delay; I just use it for the reverb.
Earthquake or fucking those guys.
No,
those guys.
Those guys
Yeah.
over here. And then that into the overdrive, and then that into a flanger.
Yeah, man.
I use it on a couple songs.
So where are you splitting off at the? Oh, that's for you're not splitting off. Just in case you need to run a dual amp
So
setup.
the B output is not being used currently.
sure.
So
Beautiful, and then that light too. So you're coming out of that flanger, going right into the front end.
yeah.
Of the 6505. Man, beautiful, dude. For sure. Yeah, I love that. And what a cool board, man, with
Thank
that built-in switch. Yeah, that's power supplies can be the bane of my existence sometimes in board building.
Yeah, especially if like you're playing a weird venue and there's like, one outlet
Or a backyard or
or a
something.
backyard,
You never know,
like this doesn't need any power, it's a lifesaver, dude.
For sure.
For real.
Yeah, man, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
As a pedal builder, like what are some of your favorite just general circuits? Like some of maybe the classics, or like what are like the top dogs in the pedal game for you?
Funny story. Probably not that funny. Thank you. Thank you. Before I started building pedals, I absolutely despised fuzz.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a punk band, it's a lot of chugging. It's a lot of like
Want tighter maybe?
yeah,
or something?
yeah. It's when I thought of fuzz, I was like, it's just there's no mids. It's all bass sounding. Blah blah blah. After I started building pedals, fuzz is probably my favorite circuit.
Yeah,
For real. Like there's so much you can do with them, and they make everything sound fucking huge. If you throw an octave,
Very thick.
before or after a fuzz, like that's like the classic drone sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's set like sleep.
and growing
Uses
up,
that shit. Go
I
ahead.
love the Smashing Pumpkins. They just used that so much.
Fuzz face,
going on.
dude.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Or no, it was the Big Muff.
Yeah,
They
it
used
was the Big Muff for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, the sleep sounds like a wall of like that'll just
Sun.
take you down, dude.
Sun. Yeah, they've got like 10 full stacks on the fucking stage.
Yeah,
just
man.
like one note for every 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
You ever play the Swollen Pickle
Yeah, I've built a
fuzz?
few of them.
Oh yeah, cool,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I always thought that was a cool name and a cool look, you know. But
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Favorite circuit? I mean, there's definitely, you know, everyone wants a tube screamer.
yeah, sure.
And there are a million versions of a tube screamer. It's like what? Tube screamer, fuzz face. Yeah, that's it. I mean, people like HM2s.
Yeah, man,
the
for
heavy metal
sure.
pedals.
Another that can get thick. That can also be real thin.
For
it just
sure.
depends what you want it to be.
For sure,
So that's cool.
Yeah. They've got, you know, like the Swedish death metal, like dime every knob.
Yeah, dude.
And it actually sounds
The chainsaw.
Yeah, the chainsaw sounds really, really fucking good. Built a few of those, but an octave fuzz, like you can't. I love it. I don't know why. I love an octave fuzz. I don't think I could ever use one in a song.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
because it's not really the style that I play or write to. Maybe if you layer it on a recording, you know, like as you know, just to fill in the air. But,
Yeah, sure.
Probably not live. But yeah.
Yeah, man, that's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the fuzz, man, it's just thick as shit.
Right. Yeah. It's funny too, because I didn't dive into the rabbit hole of pedals, obviously, until I started making them. You know what I mean? So I was a staunch advocate of like amp sound, amp tone.
That's kind of what I was just going to ask you. I'm like, do you, as a user of high gain amps, because I was there for sure. I'm kind of still am there almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Me
Like,
too.
just
Me too.
going in. But as a predominant user of high gain amps, where you get the main tone from the amp, what are your thoughts on like distortion circuits? And have you found any like amp in a box kind of pedals, or do you make any amp in a box pedals? Like, you know how like I see like companies like maybe Rev or Friedman coming out with these very tailored distortion pedals nowadays, where people are almost just using them as a preamp
Right.
in itself.
I mean, not me personally.
Yeah, I like the real amps. I haven't found. I've tried so many of them, and I
Right.
find-
Well, that's what you start with. You know, like you start with an amp, and then for me, got into pedals after that. But I think on a lot of the records that I listened to, I was a huge fan of No.F.X, and I know they play Marshalls with a Les Paul. I never saw them using pedals, you know, like punk bands, like they're like, fuck
they
off.
keep them hidden by the monitors. But yeah, for sure.
Behind the fake speaker cabinet. But you know, their tones were great. So when I started, and yeah, I still like a good amp tone. You know, you can't beat a fucking tube amp tone.
I agree, man.
I just started using these with the Hate, because it's the only band I play guitar in now. But I love them. Like, you know, the diversity and the you know, mixture of sounds you can get.
For sure.
Not
Definitely.
even, you know, like, not even talking about overdrive or distortion, like delay or you know, flanger.
Yeah.
Like it just makes things so interesting.
It really does. It's ear candy, dude.
Yeah,
That's what I
for
always
sure,
call it,
for
for sure. I've been asking everyone this question so far, so I'm going to keep it up. Desert Island rig. Like, if you had to pick one guitar, one pedal, one amp, and we will run you power to the desert island. You just can't have any food or anything.
I'll eat the sand.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a great question. I would probably go with a Gibson Les Paul.
Your Black Beauty or something special, or
I haven't played enough to really.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
they all sound good.
Yeah, man.
I guess my Black Beauty, because I've played it and I love that baby. Fuck, dude, that's such a great question. Amp probably.
the pedal's going to be the hardest part for you.
Yeah, for sure. Amp probably a Marshall. Because, you know, classic combo, they sound very, very well, you know, good together. Pedal, man.
It's just for you. You don't got to worry about fitting in a mix. You don't got to worry about. It's just for you, man.
I would probably do Have you heard the Bit Commander? I think is what it's called.
No. Tell me about this.
So it's an Earthquaker Devices pedal, and it literally makes your guitar sound like 8-bit, like a Nintendo game. You know what I mean? Like but it also has a very, very good sounding fuzz if you take down the octave. So like it's got like octaves that you can control, and it's got like the 8-bit sound. I don't know what it's called on the pedal, but if you like take the octaves down, it just leaves you with a very, very nice sounding fuzz. So I'd probably just use that one. Have a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool, man. Hell yeah.
Check it out. You should check that pedal out.
I'm going to have to for sure. The Bit Commander, you said. Okay, cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, lastly, like, let me have you plug some links. Where can people find your pedals, hear the music from your bands, and all that good stuff?
So yeah, Instagram is where I'm at mostly for my pedals. I am working on a website, so hopefully that'll come out soon. It's probably, noonecarespedals.com. I highly doubt anybody has that URL.
We'll keep it posted.
Yeah. I'll save it now.
Someone who cares had made the No One Cares.
There you go. And as far as the bands, it's I should probably look it up. I know it's the End of Everything 702, I think is their Instagram. The Hate Band, at the Hate Band on Instagram, and then Lords of Death, I think we got the name. Yeah. There was one from New York, a Lords of Death, and then they either stopped being a band or they got rid of their Instagram or something, but I'm pretty sure we got Lords of Death. All right. Well, that worked out in your favor for sure. At Lords of Death on that. At End of Everything 702 and at the Hate Band on Instagram for all that. And the at for the No One Cares pedals is just... It's just, I think you can search N.O.C. pedals or No One Cares pedals. All right, on, man. Yeah. Well, like and subscribe to this channel for more juicy content, and go buy some fucking pedals from No One Cares Pedals. Go check them out on Instagram, man. N.O.C. pedals. Thank you for watching the Tonepot, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bam.